Hello and welcome to part 2 of my free video training series on becoming an expert consultant, coach and deal maker, where you're going to learn everything that you need to know to break into and succeed in the lucrative field of business consulting and coaching. Now in video 1, I define what working as a business consultant is and how it remains today one of the very best opportunities for an individual like you to finally free yourself from the life of wage slave drudgery and into a life of self-determination, self-employment and self-fulfillment. And furthermore, the kind of self-fulfillment and self-employment I'm talking about here is not a risky, shaky, taking a whopping great chance with your life kind of proposition. What I'm talking about is being self-employed and financially free, financially independent and financially comfortable. It's being free to be your own boss and about having more money than you ever had before. The dream of being your own boss can quickly turn into a nightmare for too many people when they find out that the only thing between their next rent, mortgage or car payment is their own ability to generate cash fast and consistently. When you're self-employed, you're on your own. When you need a holiday or a sick day, guess what? You don't have an employer to provide you with the paid sick or paid holidays at all. That's on you. Yes, you're finally free of that miserable boss and the dead-end job, but now what? Now you've got to get out there and earn some money day after day, and that's where it gets complicated and that's where it gets scary. But wait a minute. I want you to know that there's a better way. Much as I hate stooping to the use of a cliche, you can have your cake and eat it too. I mean, what I want to propose to you right now is that you can live the dream of being free and working for yourself while enjoying the benefits of having even more money, more free time and less worry about any work-related factors than ever before. And there's also this, and it's one of my favorite sayings, do what you love and the money will follow. When you finally find the one thing that you absolutely love to do, and that one thing also earns you all the money that you need, then you're no longer working. Your work becomes your play. You don't dread the sound of that alarm clock anymore because now you can't wait for the day to start. These are the kinds of things that I hear all the time from my graduates of my business consulting and training courses. They find that helping other people to make money, sometimes saving businesses and its family from bankruptcy, is fantastically rewarding. And when they can earn large sums of money from doing fun, exciting, interesting and rewarding work, that's the best of all worlds. And to make all of this happen, one element is key, and in a word, it's positioning. More specifically, what I'm talking about here is positioning yourself, your image. It's vital that you strive to make yourself known as an expert in what you do. And in this case, you want to adopt the image of a person that can make things happen in the world of business. When you use the tools that we provide you with to get that first meeting with your first client, you want to go into that meeting knowing that you'll be perceived as a person that they can depend on, a person that they truly believe is going to help them to make more money. Now here's where the doubts creep in for a lot of people, and they think, I'm not an expert at anything. And even if I was, how is anyone going to know about it? And they also think, doesn't it take years to build up a reputation, an image of expert or being a recognized authority in something? I even remember one person even saying to me, don't you have to be on TV a lot before people recognize you as an expert on a particular subject? The answer is no. I'm going to let you into a secret right now, and this is a secret that almost certainly must be one of the worst kept secrets of all time. And the secret's this: I can almost guarantee that you are already an expert in something right now. It's just that you've never taken the effort to position yourself as that expert that you already are. Furthermore, even if you still think you absolutely cannot be considered an expert in anything, I'm here to tell you that you are wrong. Is it possible for you to create an image of yourself as an expert in business and an expert in showing other people how to make money? The answer is an unqualified yes. Here's a little story that I've always liked, and I think it illustrates beautifully what I'm talking about. The story is about some factory somewhere that suddenly has a major breakdown in one of its most important pieces of equipment. Now, when this machine or whatever it is not running, the company's losing business, and it's losing money fast. The problem is that no one on site is able to get the machine running again. So what do? They call for an expert. The expert comes over quickly and they show him the broken machine, and he spends 5 or 10 minutes examining it. Then he takes out a wrench and he tightens a bolt. The result is that the machine is completely back in working order again, and the owners of the factory are elated. They pat the consultant on the back and they say, "Thanks, what do we owe you?" The expert says 5,000. Shocked and a bit taken back, the foreman of the plant says, "But you only spent 10 minutes examining the machine and you only tightened one bolt." And the expert said, "Look, it's not about tightening a bolt that I get paid for. It's knowing which bolt to tighten." Now, I tell you this somewhat light-hearted story because it's got an important moral that I want you to absorb and take to heart. As a business consultant, you'll be perceived as an expert in your field. Some of the plans, the tools, the strategies that we provide you with sometimes may seem as simple as just tightening a single bolt, but that's the important thing. And that is that the results that you'll get for your clients. And if, or should I say when, you get those results, you deserve to be paid in a manner that reflects the tremendous value of your expertise. You've got to adopt the mental attitude of going into each situation believing that A, you indeed are the expert in that situation, and B, you deserve to be paid handsomely for what you do. When you adopt that attitude, when you accept yourself as an expert, then others will almost automatically do the same. Look, so much of this is simply a matter of psychology. It's a matter of how you look at yourself and how you want others to view who you are. Perception is reality. And here's a very important point. The fact is, in most cases, expertise is assumed. The fact is, the vast majority of people don't question the expertise of whatever professional that they engage. Think about it. When you go to a doctor, you just assume that he or she is a medical expert. When you go to see the dentist, you don't check to see whether there's a degree hanging on their wall. When you go to the car mechanic, you assume that this guy knows what he's doing and he's going to fix your car. In a similar fashion, as you present yourself to business clients as a business consultant, your expertise, in most cases, is assumed and taken for granted. Ultimately, it all depends on whether you deliver results, and as the Alchemy system helps you to get there, you'll be able to do it. Now, positioning yourself as an expert takes just two kinds of effort. The first is self-directed. You first have simply got to allow yourself the confidence to believe that you are indeed an authority and a bona fide business consultant or coach. And secondly, there are steps that you can take to create and bolster your image to position yourself as an expert in your field. Interestingly, when you print that first set of business cards that identifies you as a business consultant, you're creating or putting a stamp of reality on the credentials of being what you say you are. Furthermore, you know what it means to be a business consultant or business coach. You know what your job is. You know what your goals are. You know what you are waking up to achieve every single day. And when you follow my system that has been used by so many people before you to assist businesses to succeed, then you have the training, the knowledge, and the confidence in what you're doing. You have it all at your disposal to make sure that you can make it all happen. Again, you get all of our tried and tested tools and templates, our well thought out strategies, our field tested methods that have helped others to create more business, generate more customers, and produce more wealth. Now, another way of becoming an expert in your field, interestingly enough, is to choose a specific field or an area in which you already have some experience. And in this case, I'm talking about a niche market. Many of our business consultants decide to work within more narrow, well-defined markets. For example, some choose to work with insurance companies, printers, or business-to-business industries, while others focus their efforts on retailers or business-to-consumer industries. Still others might target the car industry, and some may even narrow that down to focus in on new car dealers. Now, as a business consultant or coach, you don't necessarily have to explore or exploit a niche, although many find this as the fastest way to get started and as the easiest way to identify new clients. But remember, the principles of business tend to be universal, and that is, you can be sure that no matter what someone else is selling, be it a specific product or a service, they're all seeking much the same thing: more customers to sell to, higher profits on what they sell, and better margins on each item. They're also looking for add-on or added value sales, referrals, or even more customers, more efficient, time-saving ways of getting business done, and so forth. Again, that's what's great, even magical, about working in the realm of business consulting. There are no limits. I like to say that a business consultant is like type O blood of the business world. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, those people that have got type O blood are called universal donors by medical professionals because they can give blood to anyone, no matter what their type. A person with type O blood can give it to a person with type A blood, but a type A person can only give it to another type A. As a business consultant, you'll pick up the tools that are universal that can be applied across the board to just about any business model that you care to target with your marketing techniques as you seek new clients. But niche marketing is still key for many. They find that gaining great knowledge of depth within a certain industry helps them to do their job even better. It also makes it easy to position yourself as an expert in that particular field. So for example, you could position yourself as the real go-to guy or girl who can really make things happen for used car dealers. Or you can become known as a true expert in helping medical professionals, dentists, opticians, or chiropractors. To get more customers and to get more profits fast. Once you establish your identity in any particular niche, you've got it made. If you unlock the key to helping shoe retailers, hairstylists, or health clubs to sell more and get more customers, you're never going to run out of business. There are millions and millions of established businesses, small, medium, and large, just in the Western world alone. And as such, I always like to remind people that you should never limit yourself by the borders of your own country. As a business consultant who is recognized as an expert in your field, the world and its multi-millions of hungry businesses will be your playground. Now, if by chance you think you're exhausting the limit of your given niche, that only means that it's time to spread your wings. You can choose another niche or simply start targeting business you think can be tailor-made clients to match your skills. I want to take this a bit further now and talk about some of the other amazing ways that some of our best consultants have raised their own profiles and established themselves as experts in their field. For many years now, one of the most recognized ways to establish expert credentials is to write and publish a book, or even a special report, a white paper. Now, I'm only going to speak about this briefly, but I want you to get the general idea. See, what's exciting about this is that publishing a book has never been easier, thanks to the internet revolution and ebook publishing. The old way of publishing is all but dead. You write a book, submitting your manuscript and just hoping a publisher accepts it without too many rejections or complete rejection, until maybe one day it finally sees print. But today, millions of authors have completely abandoned the idea of finding a publisher for their book. They simply publish their own book online, placing them in major markets for books such as Amazon Kindle. You can also publish your own books online on a website, or you can even create a Facebook page that's dedicated to promoting your own book. As I said, I won't go into great detail here on the process of getting a book into print and online, but I mention book publishing because it's a remarkable tool for positioning. When you've got a book with your name on it as the author, then you become the guy or the girl that wrote the book. Think about it. If you're considering hiring a certain professional to perform a service for you, and you've got a series of 3 choices, who would you consider first? The one that wrote the book on the topic or the report, or the other guys? Or look at it this way. Imagine that there are 3 chiropractors all working in the same town, and competition for customers is crucial. One of the 3 decides to write and publish a book of tips on how to maintain perfect balance and health of the lower back. Does this chiropractor, the one known to have written the book on the topic, have a clear marketing advantage over the others? Without a doubt. Of course he does. What he's done is to position himself above the others as the expert. You can see how this works. Furthermore, book publishing is not only a strategy for positioning yourself, but it's also yet another tool that you can offer to your business consulting clients or coaching clients. Yes, you can show them how to get a book or a report out there too. When you bring ideas like this to the table, when you meet with your clients, they'll immediately recognize the value of your information. Now, I'm not sure if I've mentioned this before, and I don't do it to promote it, but I've got a published book of my own, and you can find it right now on sites like Amazon.com. It's called Out of the Box Marketing, and I've used this as a tool for a long time, and you can do the same too. Now, let's talk about a couple of more, and there are many more position marketing tools. And one of the most obvious is media exposure. Here again, I can personally attest to the power of what getting ink in print publications and airtime on radio and TV broadcasting can do to raise your profile above the pack. Here's just a short list of some of the publications and media outlets that I've scored attention from using this method. The Sunday Times, BBC Television, Channel 4, Dubai Eye, Financial Review, The Australian, The Guardian, Wealth Creator, and the list goes on. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're saying, David, it's easy for you to get media attention because you're already known in the field of business consulting. Surely you've got to get some fame first, then you could get all the media attention. That's not true. Certainly I'll agree that there was a time before I appeared anywhere in the media. There was a time when no stories had been written about me. And there was a time when that first story actually appeared. But the thing is, I actively sought media attention. And part of the way that I did that was simply by making myself available to the press. Look, reporters are hungry for news. Part of the way that they get their news is, you guessed it, interview experts in their fields. Just about every newspaper publishes a business section, and even those that don't like to write stories about what's happening in the business climate of their local coverage area. So part of the strategy of getting reporters and editors to call upon you for an interview is to introduce yourself to them. Tell them and let them know what you actually do. Either call them or send them an email or a letter and let them know that you're available to provide comment or answer any questions they may have on matters of local business. You might be surprised. Reporters are driven to include quotes from experts in their articles, but they don't always know where to find them. Let them find you. Make yourself a frequent and known quantity among selected targets of business media in your area, and you might find yourself doing very well and being quoted as an expert in your field more often than you imagined. I did. Getting free media attention is a key, and the key word there is free. This is why some people get rich in the field of public relations. PR professionals are experts at getting their clients free publicity in the media. Now, this kind of media attention is 100 times more powerful than any advertising that you'd have to pay for in the same publication. Again, I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of the art of public relations and self-promotion here, only to say that A, you don't have to be a PR expert to score some of your first media exposure, and B, once you do, you'll start the ball rolling and it'll raise your position in your field of operations as an expert. Now, I'm going to very briefly mention one of the most powerful and inexpensive ways to bolster your image, get customers, and position yourself as an expert in your field. And that method is public speaking and conducting webinars and seminars. Now, this is especially exciting because it's a tool that not only lands you dozens of clients fast, but you can even make large amounts of money while you do it. In effect, this is a way to make money while you gather up droves of new clients. Perfect. Now, let's just say by way of example that you're seeking clients who are real estate agents. Perhaps you already have a background in the business or in property, but now you want to enter into the industry as a business consultant. That is, you want to show other real estate agents how they can find more customers, sell more real estate, and make more money. Now, you do a bit of homework and you put together a free seminar called How to Triple Your Estate Agency Sales in 3 Months. Now you might want to put together some source materials for this, reports, workbooks, CDs or other items that you can hand out to attendees. Then you take your show on the road. You time your seminar to last from 1 hour or to perhaps fill an afternoon or evening. And some seminar marketers offer their seminar for free. They do it with the goal of making contacts with potential consulting clients. Now these folk can sign up online, or you just bring a sign-up sheet to your seminar and you'll collect a fast list of highly qualified leads fast. Have them detail their names, phone numbers and their email. Or another way of doing it is that you can value your seminar of whatever you choose, say 100 per person. This way you get the best of both worlds. If you can get 10, 20 or whatever people to attend your seminar, you've just earned 1,000 or 2,000 for the night. But the far greater value will almost certainly be the list of highly qualified leads that you obtain from your audience. But wait a minute, as you might have guessed, putting together a seminar is even easier today than it ever has been before, and that's because just about anyone can easily put together their own webinar. It's the amazing new power of the internet to the rescue again. Your online webinar can reach not just 10 or 20 people per day, but thousands, even tens of thousands. I probably don't have to tell you that today's software, video and sound equipment makes constructing an online seminar not just inexpensive but fantastically easy. Not only can your own online webinar find you dozens of potential clients fast, it can also generate revenue and work as one of your very best positioning tools. Now really, I'm only getting started here with positioning in creating an image for yourself as an expert in your field. It's a subject of endless fascination. There's no one way to do it, no right way that will work best for each individual. There are so many ways to get the job done, and absolutely everyone and anyone can position themselves as an expert in their field. Frankly, positioning is not merely fun and fascinating, it's addictive. Positioning tends to feed on itself. Raising your profile tends to lead to more attention, more media coverage, more word of mouth, more chatter on the streets, which in turn leads to still more attention, more referrals, more business, and more customers, more profit. Using our tools and training as a business consultant, you'll soon be an expert on positioning. Furthermore, you can show your clients how to be perceived as an expert in their field too. Now, before closing, I want to mention something that's proven to be very powerful in positioning yourself as the authority and as the expert, and I call it the positioning setup. I created this as a process and set of tools for our consultants to follow and to use, and it's got the magical effect of pre-positioning you as an expert even before you go into a meeting with a prospective client. Look, you never want to be with a prospective client where you're in a subservient or subordinate situation. It doesn't feel right and it doesn't work. You can easily tell when it isn't there. You feel that you're having to sell to them. The meeting is hard work. They're treating you as if they don't want you there, or as if you were a salesperson. Invariably, it doesn't end well. And therein lies the issue. You need them to be selling to you, not vice versa. If you ever want to be a seven-figure consultant, coach or deal maker, then you must avoid these situations at all costs. And frankly, if you're ever in such a position, then the best thing that you can do is walk out, because it ain't going to happen for you. You might as well leave with your dignity intact. Funny thing is, if you do walk out, some of them chase after you. You need respect. You need them looking up to you. You must enter that first meeting, walk through their door as the recognized expert, the authority, and perceived as the seasoned professional. Now, the only way to do that is to set it all up before you even get there and meet them. Regardless of your level of expertise and experience, you must start out as you mean to go on. And to do that, you've got to take control of the relationship right from the very start, from the get-go. And the easiest method to do that is to qualify your potential clients over the phone before you agree to meet them. Now, we have a very potent, precise tool for doing this, and it's called the telephone qualifier. In simple terms, it's a questionnaire form. It's a list of qualifying questions that you have for them. And as a strict rule, you must not meet any prospective client unless you first interview them on the phone using this qualifier. Think about it. Why waste your time with people that are going to waste your time? Why spend an hour or so with a so-called prospective client only for them to inform you at the end of your pitch that they are not interested, or they don't have the budget, or that they need to speak to someone else, or worst of all, they need to think about it? Doesn't it make sense for you to know all of that rubbish before you meet them, before you waste your valuable time and efforts with them? This is so easy and yet so devastatingly powerful. By using a telephone qualifier, you'll know their level of interest even before you go and meet them. That's because they would have told you. As a result, using this fantastic device, you won't even bother with many and therefore save yourself time, money, and lots of anguish. A good, well-constructed and crafted telephone qualifier sorts out those prospects that are hot from those that are not. With the right questions, your qualifier will set you up as the expert right from the start. By asking intelligent and perceptive questions, your prospect can't help but think and feel that they are dealing with a polished professional. There's an amusing and yet potent byproduct of a good qualifier as well, and that is that your prospect can't help but realize that they're being qualified. It's like a test for them, and here's the funny bit: people that are being tested, naturally, they want to pass. They want to give you good answers, they want to please you, and that positions you even further. Only, and I mean only, if they answer all of the questions to your satisfaction and to the level that qualifies them as hot, do you then agree to an appointment and go out and meet them. See? You're agreeing to meet with them, not the other way around. You're in control. Let me repeat a comment that I've heard many of our successful consultants say about it. With a properly conducted and completed qualifier, you're 90% there. They are ready. They are almost sold. Honestly, you can only mess it up from that point on. You're now fully prepped and pre-positioned as the expert, the authority, and the seasoned professional. But there's more. There's a second part to my positioning setup process that almost seals the deals. The second part of the process is to follow up with a qualifier call with an email or a letter. In the note, you explain that you're looking forward to sharing with them some tremendous business building ideas and strategies, and you'd like them to prepare for the meeting by putting aside an hour and to be ready and willing to make a decision with a consulting arrangement if they find value in the ideas presented. So now who's in the driving seat? Who's the authority now? Who's the man or the woman? The positioning is now in your favor. You're the expert. I'm sure that you can see that this no-nonsense approach can only ensure that you're only dealing with serious prospects, but it also sits better. It saves time. It has professionalism stamped all over it. I, and indeed the graduates of my courses, use this strategy to breathtaking effect. You see, done correctly, it all but guarantees your success, and that's because you're armed with the facts about their business. You've established already your credibility, but more importantly, you know their level of interest. Now here's a gift for you. You may have noticed that there's a download for you that accompanies this video in the series. And the good news is that it includes a proven, field-tested telephone qualifier that you can use for yourself. And believe me, this simple questionnaire alone will not only change the way that you do things, but it'll change your fortunes and indeed your life. I've come to learn that instilling the power and practice of positioning is a key factor in the success of just about all of our program graduates and those that have gone on to be true superstars. I'm going to leave it there for now because we still have considerable ground to cover in this free series of videos. But I hope that what you take away from this is not just a sense of possibilities of what you can accomplish, but how exactly you can go ahead and accomplish it. You can absolutely do this. If I did it, I know that you can too. I've used the positioning strategies that I've discussed here again and again to continually boost my image. In fact, I'm doing it right now with this video, and you're watching it. But more importantly, you can do the same to further your own career as a business consultant. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to combine and utilize the last two training videos, step-by-step consulting and this one, positioning, to get the ultimate leverage and the mega income that you deserve by becoming a deal maker. I'll see you soon.